welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Rich tonight. How's it going, Rich?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm making it.
Yeah.
Rygal unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He had some family stuff he had to deal with, so hope all is well on his end.
Yes, hopefully everything turns out good.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling, me and you had talked about this about Raw and Smackdown, that it would probably be a letdown after such solid programming for 1 week.
Well, unfortunately, last week I wasn't on because what I would have said to open up the show was, I hope you guys remember that Raw from last week because they blew all their load right on that first week of Raw.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, and I knew once that happened that it was just going to be downhill from there. So, and I thought, all right, Raw sucked this week, so SmackDown's going to capitalize. Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few bright spots here and there, but the overall show was not really that good.
Listen, you only got 2 hours to fill for a show compared to 3 of Raw, which is already a pain in the ass to have to sit through. When you only got 2 hours, you're supposed to, and you're the wrestling show, and you have 2 no contests. It's like, what the fuck? What is this?
And the thing that drives me nuts, and the Solomonster, who does his podcast, said this, and I agree with him. He's like, why do they need to have the same exact opening to Raw almost every week, like a fucking 30-minute promo?
Exactly. They just changed up the people this week.
Don't get me wrong. I like Sasha Banks, and I like Jericho as a heel, and I like Enzo, but it's just like it took far, far too long to get to the point.
Well, I've told you this before, and I think I've said it here, and I've said it many times. Sasha Banks is my favorite wrestler. But yeah. Man, did they expose the fact that she has shit mic skills on Monday. Man, oh man. Excuse me.
Yeah. And it was just bad. Weird because they kept... And I don't mind the how you doing, because that's a Jersey, New Yorker thing.
Yeah, but
then I was just like, Jesus Christ.
And they're testing the waters, Joey. They're testing the waters, separating Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
And I'm not liking it at all. I'm not liking it. Not one damn bit.
And the thing is, Enzo can really work.
Yeah. The thing is that once you separate them, it's not going to be for the better.
Cass is going to be better for Cass.
Yeah, and they need to realize it's not going to be for the better once you separate them. What are you going to do? Put Enzo as part of the fucking cruiserweight division or something? Like, come on.
My wish is, and because it's my idea, it means they won't do it, that they should start off Raw hot, like how Nitro used to back in the day when they would have like almost all cruiserweight matches the first hour. Remember that?
Yes, but they're not going to do that because
that's why I loved WCW back in the day. I would watch the whole first hour of Nitro and then turn off to Raw.
Right. Because Nitro back in the days would do what Raw does in the beginning, where they'd have the Hogan and the NWO at like the 9 o'clock hour standing there talking shit that nobody cared about.
Yeah, and you're just like, ugh.
Right.
The other thing that intrigued me about Raw was I was surprised how well Finn Balor went toe-to-toe with Rollins on the mic.
Yeah. Balor can talk. It's just that we didn't see a lot of that in NXT because it was,
that's why I was like surprised, I guess.
But that's because NXT is the way that it's presented to people, where it's wrestling. That's exactly what we're supposed to get, and that's what we get for NXT. You get what I'm saying? That bullshit talking, whatever. You may get a backstage interview or something, but it's like boom, right on to the next match.
Yeah. Hey, Lance in the chat has a good point. He says WWE better do something and step their game up because Monday Night Football is right around the corner.
Oh, Raw's fucked. Raw is screwed. And you know one thing that I never mentioned to you that I should have. You know that how for years Monday Night Raw was beating out Monday Night Football?
Yes.
And now that's clearly not the case anymore. I am telling you right now, and if it ever happens, remember that we mentioned it first on this program, August the 5th, 2016.
All right.
Roger Goodell is sitting in his office right now with fucking 32 owners talking about how do we get Tuesday Night Football on TV? Just to fuck SmackDown too. And I don't think he's doing it as a ploy against WWE, clearly. I'm just thinking, if Roger Goodell could have 7 days a week of football, he will. So
well, I'm going to tell you, and I know Lance in the chat is like this, but if my team is playing on Monday night or I have fantasy implications on Monday night, I'm watching the fucking game.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And that's never going to change no matter what the situation is. That's why they have a thing called DVR.
Yeah.
So
but to get back to the point, I liked how Balor and Rollins interacted, and I think it's going to be a really, really good match.
Yes. And honestly, I don't know how they're going to do it, but if it doesn't end with Balor as the champion, at least in their first match, then it's going to be a complete fail in my view. Because once you introduce him as the demon, because you know that's where they're going to go eventually.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it's going to be a fail. But the biggest news out of Monday Night Raw, which I know you're going to agree with me on this, is the return of Jinder Mahal after 2 years.
Yes.
No, guys,
the Raw
I'm just
rating
kidding.
just went through the roof when he came out.
Yep, through the roof, but the wrong way. Jesus.
Oh, no, what I was going to bring up is the official burial of Roman Reigns to the mid-card.
Yeah, and you know what? I just hope that they're not using Roman now to try to do what they did with Cena 2 years ago with the fucking, what are they going to call it? Roman Empire Challenge coming up next or something with the U.S. title. What they need to do is they need to realize that, you know what? When you really think about it, they say, oh, Raw got everybody, right? The women's division is really 2 people on Raw, right? You got Rollins as basically your top heel, but you need another secondary top heel since apparently they're not really touching the Owens button yet. So you need Rusev to win convincingly at SummerSlam.
I think he's going to.
He has to.
The reason I say this is if that's how they're angry with Reigns for everything that's happened, he's lost clean the last 2 times he's wrestled. I told you, he's going to have to eat shit and like it for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And I am
basically
100%
kind of like earn his way back up there.
Exactly. And I'm 100% all with that whole idea because guess what? He had the keys to the mansion. He was their poster boy. Whether we liked it or not, Vince McMahon, like we said before, he'd rather have an arena. Let's say the arena holds 10,000 people. He'd rather there be 5,000 people there to see Roman Reigns than 10,000 people there to see a Daniel Bryan. Because he put all of his resources and everything behind
which
Reigns.
Is lunacy.
Yeah, but that's Vince. So he put all of his resources, everything he had behind Reigns, and Reigns basically just said, "Oh shit, sorry, and I fucked up," and it doesn't work that way because you know what? Vince did the same thing with Cena, and Cena, like it or not, for 14 years, even though that 1 week he's been wrestling for WWE for 14 years, the next is 15. So this week he said 15, so we'll stick with 15.
It depends on the week.
Yeah, so he said 15 this week, so we'll stick with that one. Cena has been clean 15 years, never been caught in nothing. Every time that they have a steroid scandal or whatever, the first one to step up is John Cena because clearly people are going to go, well, look at him. He has forearms like Popeye and stuff. He has to be taking steroids. Nope.
Here's a good point. Lance says in the chat, Vince is a billionaire. He doesn't care about the money. WWE is basically his toy box.
Does what he wants. And It's like, whether you like it or not, that's how it's going to be.
What made me laugh, though, it took somebody like Rusev to get people to actually cheer for Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, selfishly thought in the back of my mind when he started mentioning Olympics, I was like, maybe they'll bring in Kurt Angle. No, they're not going to do that.
Especially when they were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And I was like, no, they're not going to do that. But right now, Rusev is recovering from his time in the doghouse, as you can see. And he's recovered pretty good.
It's almost like we set the reset clock back to 2 years ago.
Yep. They put a muzzle on Lana. They're like, just introduce him and shut the fuck up and get out of the ring.
Yeah.
And they didn't even allow them to have a honeymoon. Isn't that funny? They got married during the weekend. They're like, yeah, you're going to be on Raw Monday. But we just got married. That's awesome. Get your ass on the plane and get to wherever.
You got to wait till Christmas.
Exactly. Remember? I could see Vince. Remember that great story I was telling last year with you, Summer, Ziggs, and Ruru over here? And you fucked that up? Well, guess what? This is your payback. They're like, no, Vince, that was a horrible storyline.
And that storyline was awful.
Yeah, like she's actually a hero for that. Thank you. But
you're not kidding. The other thing that was a head scratcher I want to bring up was the New Day fighting the Club.
Yeah, I'm not sure if like Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows read their contract completely through. Like, did they not see like the word burial there or something? Because okay, that the Club beat them up afterwards. Yippee.
I get that, but it's like
they lost in 90 fucking seconds.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you recover from that to go and say, all right, well, we're going to fight you again at SummerSlam, but we already lost to you in 90 seconds because we did the Too Sweet sign.
We lost to you in 90 seconds, 1. 2, we wanted the advantage of it being strictly a tag team match, so Xavier couldn't be at ringside, right? So now, either New Day gets buried at SummerSlam or the continued burial of the Club happens at SummerSlam, because if New Day loses with all 3 members out there, what are they saying? If just 2 of them beat the Club in 90 seconds, doesn't make sense.
And you notice, and I've brought this up before, they say the longest reigning WWE champions of all time, they won't bring up Demolition because they're suing Vince.
Oh yeah, trust me. At this rate, Vince might make sure that New Day hangs on to the titles all the way through Mania just to demolish that record.
Oh, who are you kidding?
Yep. So.
The other thing was, I actually liked the ending of Raw where Orton came out and attacked Lesnar.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know what Randy Orton was doing. Maybe he was listening to this show. Maybe he was listening to people online where we all said that he's horrible, boring, and all that other good stuff. He's actually been great since he's been back. Great interview. He's been hyping the matchup pretty good. The only flaw, which can't really blame him because he's not the producer, as they call them, or agent for the matches, is he's been hyping up the whole time how it only takes 1 RKO to beat you. Yet he had to use 2 to beat just The Miz. Right.
Yeah.
so
and now they're hyping up Viperville. Ugh.
Yes. So beyond that, honestly, Randy Orton's been doing pretty good with this. They've been telling the story pretty good between Lesnar.
I read a rumor, I don't know how true it is, that the other reason Orton was out so long is he checked into rehab while he was away for about a year.
Well, I don't know, but one report that has been said by many people, including Ric Flair, was that he's tired and he doesn't want to do the thing full time anymore.
No.
So
but apparently Vince is like really, really happy with him and his return so far. So.
And I don't blame him because he's been great.
Yeah.
So
what we both mentioned is don't be shocked if Randy Orton goes over at SummerSlam.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are still doubting that, but for right now, I think that Randy Orton will go over.
And I was going to say, Lesnar will do the job as long as he gets paid.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. They think, what do you think? Lesnar sits behind the curtain talking about that's going to kill my character? He doesn't give a fuck.
You just pay me more.
Give me my check and I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't care.
Okay, Lance said that's true. Orton got one of his strikes taken off of the wellness policy for going to rehab.
Oh, nice. Okay, so apparently Randy's, if he got one strike taken off, that means he's intending on using it later on down the road.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently he's finally maturing because he had a child, and now him and his new wife are expecting another one.
Yeah, after the fact that he impregnated a ring rat. Maybe you forgot that part, but
I know, but hey, whatever. But no, I actually enjoyed that ending to Raw. I didn't think it was too bad, and I normally don't like promos to end Raw.
Yeah, I don't like them either, but it was pretty good. I mean, if it's like Rollins or some shit, then clearly, not that Rollins has been bad on the mic, but when it's Paul Heyman, then I could live through that promo to end Raw.
The only knock I will say on Rollins when he's on the mic, and this is just a small criticism, is he sounds a little nasally when he talks.
Oh God! Thank God that you're not the only person. I thought I was the only person. I make fun of him all the time. I do the Seth Rollins imitation here at home. With the you guys don't like.
Yeah,
I'm like,
where he sounds like he's like the little like rat that has the cheese.
Yeah, like what the? I was like I start thinking, is he listening to like Cypress Hill before he comes out? Like what the?
That's a way back in the time machine.
Yeah.
But that's like my only little gripe with him when he talks.
Yeah. Then that laugh kills me. Oh God, that laugh.
Yeah.
It's like tailor-made to be annoying.
Yeah, so it works that he's a heel.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about SmackDown now. I enjoyed the opening segment with Ziggler and Ambrose.
Yeah. Do you know what's the one problem that I have with SmackDown just from the get-go?
Go ahead.
They said, we're going to make this all about the superstars, right? Shane O'Mac and Daniel Bryan have been camera whores the whole time that SmackDown's been on TV.
You're right.
And we're like the first episode, we're going to make this about the superstars, but I'm going to come down and give myself entrance music and everything. I'm like, wow. But back to that. Ziggles and Ambrose's back and forth was pretty good.
It almost felt like they wrote that for Ambrose to shoot on him.
Right. And Ziggler saying that he first started there as a male cheerleader when he actually started as the caddy for the now forgotten Kerwin White. That people seem to want to forget that, including Chavo Guerrero.
Yeah.
But that was his first job in WWE before he was a Spirit Squad guy. So it was a good back and forth. You know, they're trying to really ninja you in the head that Ziggler is a legit contender.
That he's worthy.
But he just took so many, like what, a year and a half, 2 years of burying the guy. That who could believe that?
I feel like this is just like filler for Ambrose. It's almost like, okay, Dolph, we'll just throw you a bone to get you like a big payday at SummerSlam, but you're just filling in till we get to the guy we really want Ambrose to feud with.
Yeah, because we talked about it. We talked about it personally, and I said it on my show the other day that this is all a setup for Styles to take the title from Ambrose.
That's everything I've been reading.
Right, whether it's been, and even before you sent it to me, we were talking about it. Because to me, it's like, one, we all know that normally Cena's feuds are booked where he loses the first one, then he always gets a second chance, and then he comes back and he wins every other match after that. But I'm thinking that this time they're finally going to go the route that they said they were going to go, where they're going to build one show around Seth and one show around AJ.
Well, and I think they kind of have to now with Cena getting ready to go on hiatus again.
Yeah, to go shoot the second season of his show. So, you know.
They really don't have a choice.
And anyway, I think at this rate, John Cena does not want to see John Cena in the world title picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Like, he just doesn't care anymore.
Right. So, to me, it's like you have to, at SummerSlam, put AJ Styles over Cena clean, which that's basically what they're building towards, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
And maybe, I'm not saying rush it, like that first pay, which they clearly are going to do that. That first pay-per-view that they're going to have, Backlash, which is weird to call it pay-per-view Backlash on 9/11, but whatever.
Yeah,
and
terrible.
so, but build up to Ambrose versus Styles, and if I were booking, I would wait till like Survivor Series to have that match, just to let Ambrose pick up a couple more big victories on the way. But well, we shall see.
Right, and after this, which was cool, Wyatt comes out of nowhere and attacks Ziggler.
Yes.
Or should I say Jonathan Davis?
Yeah. Perfect.
Or the fucking guy from the Counting Crows.
Oh, man. I know. Or John Travolta from freaking, what was that, Battlefield Earth?
Because my buddy posted on Twitter, he's like, the question that everybody wants to know tonight, who does Bray Wyatt's hair?
Yeah, exactly. My wife was like, why is he doing that to his hair? I was like, I have no idea. Maybe he was watching a Rob Zombie movie or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool because it makes him have a different look.
Right.
But that was cool how he came out and attacked Ziggs and eventually sets up a match for him and Ziggler, and whoever wins goes to SummerSlam. I thought they were going to have some kind of weird fluky finish and set up a three-way.
Well, they did have a weird fluky finish. It just didn't set up a three-way.
Yeah.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Joey, we've seen a lot of wrestling matches. I'm sure between you and me, we've seen, if we added them up, it'd be somewhere in the four digits, maybe touching 5, right? And last time that I checked, if I purposely grab you in a match, if we're both wrestling each other, and I grab you knowing that turnbuckle's exposed, and I ram your face into the turnbuckle, you win by disqualification the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Not that that's a setup for, sweet Zig music, whatever he wants to call it. So
yeah, I was just going to get into that, Lance. Wyatt hurt his ankle in that match. Yes,
when Ziggler went to Schoolboy.
Yeah, it was really on Ziggler.
Yeah, Ziggler went to Schoolboy him,
and he kind of how do I want to word it? Like, caught his ankle under his leg somehow.
Right. Yep.
Like, just a weird kind of fluky thing.
Yeah.
And I said this, I might have said this to you, I don't remember. It's time for Bray to just get fucking boots, regular wrestling boots,
yes,
not
you told
shoes.
Me. Yep, you were telling me that the other day. Yep, it's true. Look what happened to Rusev. It took for him to fuck his damn foot up when he got thrown over the top rope. I think it was by Jack Swagger or somebody.
Yeah.
That he landed on his feet and he was trying to do the Kevin Von Erich wrestling barefoot. Look what happened.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. Lance says in the chat, and it's any type of foot problem suck because you're always on your feet.
Yeah.
And the other thing I said about Bray is, and look, I respect, him and everything, but it's like, bro, you need to, I think, start, doing some leg work because you've seen in his pictures how, uneven he looks.
Yeah, he's, big up top and, small on the bottom.
I'm not saying, get super jacked up, but just enough to take care of your legs.
Yeah.
Because he had those kind of nagging injuries. Remember, he hurt himself the day of Mania 31 when he was supposed to fight Taker, and they didn't even know if he was going to be able to wrestle.
Yeah, and he hurt himself when he was wrestling Roman in France.
There too.
So, I think what it is that since Bray's has probably always been Husky Harris, his whole life, kind of, big. And
I can see, though, that he's slowly getting into shape because remember how much, better he looked in that photo before he came back?
Yeah. And so I'm thinking he's one of these guys that want to get in shape, but maybe he's also one of these guys that forgets that instead of trying to impress the ladies with the guns, it's like a full body workout you need to do.
Yeah.
Because while you're
'Cause
putting a lot of emphasis on your top half, your bottom half is going to suffer.
Because my fear is Vince is going to look at him and say, all right, he's injury prone now.
Yeah. Because that's kind of what happened with Ziggler. When Ziggler had the world title when he beat Del Rio. He got one concussion from Jack Swagger's botch, keep in mind. Wasn't even his own fault. And Vince was like, nope, injury prone. Take the title off of him. Yeah, but then again, I think he was just looking for an excuse to take the title off him anyway.
The referee, from what I've been reading, tried to stop that match, and Wyatt wigged out on him and was like, no, we're finishing the match.
Yeah, you kind of had to. So Shane, Daniel, whether it's kayfabe or not, should be thanking Bray for that. Because the match was pretty damn awesome, considering that it was a horrible show.
Yeah. And Wyatt said he's going to work the live events this weekend, so we'll see. That it wasn't that serious.
Well, who reported this as serious? Meltzer?
Oh, I don't know. It was in the group.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was my good buddy Meltz. So, we'll see. We'll see.
That's why I said I'll have to wait and see on the live shows if he's working them.
Listen, I'm telling you, we by year's end, we have to have a segment on this show called Dirt Sheet Busters.
There you go.
Meltzer.
The year in review.
Yeah. Meltzer will hate us, but at least the people will understand why we're doing it.
Now, here's the thing I wanted to ask you, just for pure curiosity's sake.
Uh-huh.
The Eva Marie thing.
What the fuck? Like, okay.
I'm still on the fence if that was a legitimate injury or if it was just for her to get more heat.
Okay. Can I answer the question as in a whole for the whole thing that I saw with all women involved on SmackDown? Okay. They have 6 total women wrestlers on SmackDown. Becky Lynch, Eva Marie, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Natalia, and Carmella. That's the 6. The Eva Marie thing was designed for her to get heat. Yes, because I thought at first it was legit too.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
But it is clearly designed for it to be heat, because if it wasn't, then they would have provided updates and all that on WWE.com.
Right.
So there's that. So they're talking about women's revolution, and Daniel Bryan's talking about women's revolution after SmackDown went off the air when he was with Renee Young. Why are you shitting all over the women then? Who's writing the show? Vince Russo? Like, you have 2 women matches announced for the show, and neither one of them happened.
Yeah.
So it's like ridiculous. Like right now, like I told you, on Raw, they could say, oh, well, they got Paige and they got Dana Brooke. They got
Paige for now.
Yeah. And they got Dana Brooke.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right. And they got Dana Brooke, and they got Charlotte and Sasha, and then when you think about it, that's really everybody there, because there's no, or an Alicia Fox. But beyond that, and Summer Rae. But beyond that, it's like SmackDown, to me, has a chance to take the, whatever they're going to call this women's title that they're talking about now, and build it up to be something good. But they're not respecting the women at all. Like, why didn't...
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Why when Eva Marie supposedly got hurt, why didn't Alexa Bliss come out, since she was the first one to come out last week calling out Becky Lynch? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So, we shall see where that goes, but for right now, the women's division on the Blue brand is just laughable.
Yeah, it's what I had told you previously. I said I thought it would be the better brand because they have more potential for people to grow, but not like this.
No, not at all. And it makes zero sense.
The thing I was impressed with was the AJ Cena promo.
Yeah, it was good. For
I
setting
thought it
up.
ran a little long just because if you're supposed to be the wrestling show, we don't need 20-minute promos like Raw.
Right. But at least they gave it to you in the middle of the show, not right at the top.
Right.
And but it was good, and they're building up to this match at SummerSlam, which, like I said, if it ends with anything but Styles going over clean, is ridiculous. So
I agree, Lance. He said AJ's getting way better on the mic.
Yeah, because he's way better as a heel. When they brought him in as a face, it was okay because clearly he was going to get cheered. But once he made that switch, everybody knows that AJ Styles has always been better as a heel.
Kind of like how Triple H always was.
And is in real life, yes.
I wanted your opinion on Apollo Crews getting a big match at SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, when I looked at the match, that was who's gonna be the number one contender. I knew it wasn't gonna be Kalisto that won because Miz has already beat him like 3 or 4 times since he's lost the U.S. title clean on Raw and SmackDown. Even though there is a brand extension, that's still fresh in people's minds. Corbin, clearly they were gonna put bad versus worse. You know what I mean in terms of heels. So Cruz, okay, they just need to start doing something. Like I'm assuming that next week on Miz TV, he's gonna be the guest because that's how they always set up all the freaking Miz's matches.
Yeah.
And hopefully he starts getting a little more of edge on because every time he comes out and I see his pearly whites, I just start screaming at the TV.
Stop smiling.
Yeah, and what's funny is this: he's from Stone Mountain, Georgia, right?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Exactly what I've been telling people. He needs to start hanging out with somebody else from Stone Mountain, Georgia. That, trust me, he won't have a smile on his face ever again in his life if he fucking hangs out with Jake the Snake for a week or two. So
I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I am in a sense because that's a big time spot to be on a big time pay-per-view.
Yeah, but for some reason, if you've noticed, maybe for the exception of last year, I'm not sure that he was there last year, but this will be, I think, about the 3rd time that Miz is going into SummerSlam as Intercontinental Champion and usually drops the belt at SummerSlam.
Okay. Because
he did 2 years ago against Ziggler. And I'm not sure which SummerSlam it was before that, but there was one before that also. And last year, who the hell was the Intercontinental Champion at SummerSlam last year? Anyway, we'll get back to that. But yeah, so, hopefully, I think what they're going to do is Miz probably goes over this year at SummerSlam. And then it'll set up their one-on-one thing also for the Backlash thing that's happening 2 weeks later. Makes kind of more sense,
Yeah, Ryback was the Intercontinental Champion last year.
Oh, right. That he had that.
But The Miz was in it.
Oh, so you see? Miz was the one that got pinned in the match, now that I remember, yeah. So it's always Miz doing the job.
Remember, and we want to forget this because it was Ryback against The Miz and The Big Show.
The Big Show, yes. That Big Show knocked him out, and then Ryback knocked Big Show out the ring and then pinned Miz. Yes, now I remember. So you see, it's always Miz doing the job in the Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam.
Speaking of which, before we get off track, Ryback is officially not with WWE anymore.
Good luck, Ryback.
Have you seen the video?
I saw it posted. I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah. All it is him just saying that he's not there anymore, and all his shit that's coming out, his supplements and all this types of stuff. And my post in another group was under there. It's yeah, kids, take HGH and steroids, and your balls can shrink like mine too.
Well, Ryback, I know that he threw out that little troll tweet a couple months ago about Ryborg being in the impact
Yeah.
zone. I'm almost positive that he's not going that way.
I don't know, Lance. He said, can he use his name now? I'm not sure because he said his new website is going to be called thebigguy.com.
No, Lance, to answer your question, I was just saying it right now where he said Ryborg, remember, to show up in TNA. Yeah. So I guess that'll be his name, or wasn't he Silverback Ryan Reeves at one point?
Yeah.
Ryan Reeves is his real name, so he could use that. I mean, or just stop wrestling.
Because he said he has a full, like, indie wrestling schedule.
Oh, God.
I was like, please don't come to my town.
Please. You imagine... I don't know if you've been to a Wrestle Pro show, but Wrestle Pro shows, even when they have big guys like the former Bull Dempsey, who's now Bull James,
yes,
the matches are awesome. How much of a shit will that be, having to see the freaking Ryback botching his way? Oh, God.
I said, to me, the best thing for him would be to go to Japan.
Yes. Where big botchy guys like him can get kicked in the teeth a few times by some shoot-style Japanese wrestlers.
And they learn.
And they learn real good.
I think that's his best bet.
We shall see, though.
Right. Now, Ziggler and Wyatt, the main event. I really enjoyed this match.
It was great. I thought it was over when they went to commercial, because that's when the injury happened. But they came back, and I saw Bray Wyatt on the second rope trying to superplex Ziggler off. I was like, oh, thank God, he's okay.
Yeah.
So it was a good match. Good back and forth and all that good stuff. So
I love Wyatt's lariat that he throws now. Dear God.
Yes. Where has that been?
Stan Hansen would be proud.
Very.
Because remember, he decapitated Xavier Woods, and then it was AJ Styles the week prior.
Yes. Beautiful.
Shit.
Beautiful, beautiful lariat. That somewhere down the road could be like a secondary finisher for him.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine like you doing that to somebody and then picking them up to do the Sister Abigail thing.
Right.
Because you just killed them. So
I was annoyed with the finish, but I understand it because it's not necessarily Wyatt losing per se. It's them trying to build Ziggler up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's building up Ziggler. It's just that,
I get annoyed because it's like, okay, you lose another big match.
Right. But they could have at least not insulted our intelligence and just have Wyatt, Ziggler with the normal spot laying back in the corner, and Wyatt comes flying, and Ziggler moves out the way, hits his head on the exposed steel.
Right. Well, now they're trying to make him like Shawn Michaels. It's like, okay, my finisher's the super kick again now.
Yeah.
Because remember, he hit him with the zigzag and he kicked out.
Right. So now, after super kicks have been overly exposed by professional wrestling, by every promotion everywhere.
Young Bucks.
Exactly. That there's a super kick counter, guys. So a move that's meant that I guess people were not using as finishers anymore out of respect to Shawn Michaels. Is
like
now
they're just like flipping him the bird, like, yeah, we don't care now.
Exactly. We gotta see the work a full match at WrestleMania 32. Damn it, not just a little part of it. But
the other interesting thing was seeing Eric Rowan come out at the end.
Yeah, you called it. I was like, nah, they won't bring out Rowan. You told me, oh yeah, I think they're gonna bring out Rowan, and I was like, well, but why? But yeah, it looks like they're not gonna let go of that Wyatt thing just yet. The Wyatt family thing yet.
Well, I was thinking what they were gonna do was have Wyatt and Eric Rowan against Ambrose and Ziggler at some point.
Yeah, like this week.
They can't this week because Rowan is on the overseas tour.
Oh, okay. So...
Well, Lance makes a good point. He says, like, the DDT now, it's basically nothing.
No.
And Jake the Snake made it mean something.
Exactly. And like right now, if they ask Tommy Dreamer to come in to SmackDown or Raw or whatever, and let's just say that they wanted to put him over in a match, which is doubtful. If he pins somebody with the DDT, they're gonna be like, really? It'll kill whoever he just pinned.
Dreamer's not going to do it because everything I've been reading is they want him to give up his House of Hardcore, and he's not going to do that.
Oh no, I was just saying per se because Tommy Dreamer.
I know. You just reminded me of that.
Yeah, he worked too hard to finally get his own promotion.
Yeah, he's basically like, I'm sticking with it.
Exactly. If Tommy Dreamer had whatever money he's putting into House of Hardcore now, 15 years ago, there still would have been an ECW.
Yeah, and he was saying that a lot of the guys that he started House of Hardcore with within the last 6 months to a year are in NXT now.
Yeah, so there you go. So, why would he give that up? So to what? To go to WWE for a few months? Because it's not like it's not like they're telling him, well,
it's not like a permanent thing.
Right, we're gonna strap a jetpack to you and you're gonna go to the top.
Yeah. So. Well, what I wanted to say about the Wyatt thing was, they're gonna do that match eventually, the tag match with Ziggler and Ambrose against Wyatt and Rowan, and I think that will cement Ziggler's turn, where he's going to turn on Ambrose and just like kind of leave him there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I can't say for certain.
Yeah, that's it'll end that way, where the match is over and somebody gets somebody's finisher. So,
Lance is asking to talk about the CWC this week, and we saw it. I've only seen the first 2 matches. I haven't seen all of it, and Rich is not either.
Yeah, sorry, Lance. Been a busy week.
I can say, though, I watched Jack Gallagher. I'm going to pronounce it right. Jack Gallagher wrestle, and that was fun to watch. And I can't remember who the hell was in the first match.
Was it Rich Swann?
I think it might have been. Yeah. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
He did a standing 450.
Really?
I was like, holy cow.
Wow.
Like, how Cruz does the backflip, like, moonsault thing?
Right.
It was kind of like the same deal. He took, like, a couple bunny hops and then did a 450. I was like, holy cow.
Actually, you know what? I seen him do that now that I think. His first match in NXT with Balor, he did it. Yeah. Okay,
Lance is telling me the way you pronounce his name is Gallagher.
Thank you.
Gallagher. So WWE's pronouncing it wrong. Because they're calling him Gallagher.
Well.
But I'm not really surprised.
Exactly.
I wanted to see Ciampa and
Gargano.
Yeah, but I just haven't gotten to watch the rest of it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that hopefully tonight.
Have you seen the lineup for the NXT special? Holy cow!
Yeah, Nakamura versus Joe for the title.
I was just looking at it, and it's that Asuka and Bayley, the Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa.
Austin Aries versus everybody's favorite wrestler.
No Way Jose.
And Cien Almas.
Yeah, against Bobby Roode.
Yeah. Way to say, yeah, we could still put on a show even though you take our stars. And at a point they had, I guess they removed it now because they're on the main roster. They had American Alpha going up against the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
But yeah, that was one thing we didn't touch on. American Alpha came out to a huge pop.
Yeah.
They were over. Jason Jordan, I don't understand why he's doing the Goldberg tongue thing, but maybe that was just his way of getting rid of nerves. So
I gotta tell you this: when I watch Jason Jordan, and people think I'm crazy when I say this, he reminds me a lot of The Rock when he was really young.
yes, he does. I looked at when I first saw him when they were doing the breaking ground thing and they were talking about him. I was like, why do I get like a Rocky Maivia vibe from this guy? So but right now, if you really sit and think about it, with the tag team division on SmackDown, unless they put two random guys together, they're just really there to feed everyone else to American Alpha. Because they already put down the vaudevillains. What a fall from grace they've had. And
well, it doesn't help when you get your ass kicked by not Kalisto, Sin Cara.
Yeah, that's true. And who else they have there? The Ascension.
Yeah.
Usos. Well, I mean, I was...
And the one Usos hurt.
Yeah. So I was future booking in my head, and I was just thinking to myself, the best way to get American Alpha even more over is you give the tag team titles to Breeze Dango and then have them chase them.
Yeah, there you go.
And because nobody's going to believe the Ascension can beat American Alpha. Please. Not that anybody's going to believe Breeze Dango could do it, but at least Breeze Dango's getting some airtime. So.
Well, here's some news for you that's somewhat WWE related. Conor McGregor just ripped WWE in a conference call to promote UFC 202.
Oh, really? Oh, because that's the card where Punk's going to be on.
No, he's on 3.
Oh, 203?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, someone asked McGregor if he'd ever consider wrestling in WWE. And he goes, I never really thought about it, but he said for the most part that WWE guys are, and you can insert the word for the female genitalia.
Wow.
He goes, there are some people that he respects, including the McMahons, Triple H, and The Rock. However, when asked about Brock Lesnar, he said, fair play to him because he got in the ring and fought at UFC 200, but at the end of the day, he's juiced up to the eyeballs, so how can I respect that?
Well, he ain't lying.
No.
So, you can't fault the guy for telling the truth.
No, I was just like, wow. Because you know Conor doesn't hold back.
I know. But that, Joey, is just, to me, the most disgusting thing going on in WWE right now. The fact that this guy has been proven already that he was juiced to the gills to fight at UFC. And they're just like, whatever. They're just care. So, right now, what's his name? Ray Lapon, Adam Rose, should be forming a picket so everywhere they go. Because look at all the shit they gave him over Adderall.
And he had a legal prescription.
Exactly. And even people like in the past, Rey Mysterio, when he got popped the second time, he had a prescription. The problem was that when he failed the test, he was getting the prescription sent in, and it got there after the test.
That's ridiculous.
But regardless of the fact, it got there. But he still got popped.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous, dude, you know?
So.
Especially now that they come out and say, oh, well, we don't test part-timers.
Yeah, so, like I've said before, if you want to get away with doing shit in WWE, just sign up for a part-time schedule.
I just think that's, such a slap in the face to every guy that's working 300 plus dates. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
You're sending I got on Roman at the top of this show, but at the end of the day, you're sending an ambiguous statement to the locker room, to the fans, to the investors, that fuck you if you don't like it. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar can juice up all they want to. I'm not saying Undertaker does, but he could. considering that he's like the part-timer because he only shows up once a year.
Yeah, like Lance just said, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Lesnar, they're all exempt.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that every single one of these guys are juicing, but you'd never know if they were because they're not being tested.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? The Rock, I don't care what he says. When he did that movie with Mark Wahlberg about being on steroids, I think he took that role literal. Because he got huge.
You want to talk about somebody that got huge, and I respect this guy so much, but I don't know what in the hell he is doing, because I saw a photo of him, and I said, dear God, Al Snow.
Oh, yeah. He's a friend of mine on Facebook, actually. And he puts up pictures.
I follow him on Facebook, and I was like, what in the hell did you do?
Yeah, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, wow, Al, if you just didn't look 50 years old in your face, you'd be working the top of the cards.
He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, he looks better than he ever did in his career, and I was like, wow.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm not saying the guy's juicing or anything, but whatever he's doing, I want to know his secret.
Exactly. Imagine he comes out and he says it's DDP yoga.
Yeah, there you go. You talk about DDP yoga, man. That shit works.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Oh, man. I was doing it today, and I had to go, like, get a shower because I was, like, drenched after I got out. I was like, ugh. But it really helps my back because my back was all jacked the fuck up.
That's good because I have back problems too, so that's something I need to look into.
Lance said that Al said he's been eating organic eggs.
Okay.
And then he writes, just kidding.
Where are they making these organic eggs?
I saw he just recently got engaged or something.
Did he? I thought he was with the same woman that he's been with all these years. I guess not.
I don't know, but he had like a live video of him doing something at like Disneyland.
Okay. Good for Al.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm assuming that's what it was.
I don't know.
He came to the next town over for me like quite a few years ago, but I wasn't able to go. I really would have liked to have met him. He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, Al Snow's hilarious. I don't know if I have him as a friend on Facebook, and I think also has his like page. But he's always putting up like these jokes, these hilarious jokes and stuff like that.
I follow him. I didn't friend him, but I follow him.
Right, and he cracks me. He cracks me the fuck up every single time.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, dude. Are you going to the next WrestlePro show?
I'm trying to make it because I want to take like that long selfie with Ric Flair like in the background because I'm not paying $100 to get him, and it's a pretty good card book so far, and I also want to run into our friend Matt McIntosh and see if he gets me a job. Just kidding. But
Matt's a good dude. I talk to him occasionally on Facebook.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. Just saying what's up because I didn't want him to think that it was just like, oh, thanks for doing my interview. I'll never speak to you again. No,
basically, yeah.
He's a cool guy. So
yeah, well, I got him a custom made shirt from the show in his Bad Apple Red.
Yes, we were talking about that.
So he's been wearing it. And I was messing with him because he put a photo on Twitter a while back with his man bun.
Yeah.
And I was like, only you could pull that off.
I don't know where that craze came from, but
that's what I told him. I was like, dude, only you could pull that off. I was like, I can't grow my hair that long. There's a lot of wrestlers that do that too.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of guys in general that do that.
I've seen more wrestlers, like the photo I sent you from the show we were at this past Wednesday. The one dude has a man bun.
Right.
Dude, you have to check those guys out, and I'll give them a plug here. For anyone that follows CZW Dojo Wars or Maryland Championship Wrestling, check out the tag team. I think they're called the Dixon Line in CZW, and then they're Dixon Line Security in Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, you were telling me about them.
But what's the funny thing is, like I told you, they're really big baby faces up here and really big heels down there.
Well, there you go. That's how you evolve your character.
Yeah, well, they're really cool dudes. It's cool. Well, dude, indie shows are the best.
Always. I love indie wrestling.
My buddy told me, he said he had more fun at the indie shows than he did at the WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, because you could actually walk past these people, say hello to them. I mean, it'll cost you money to do anything more than that, but besides, you can still say hi to them, right?
Yeah.
And,
That's what I did to Moose.
Yeah. WWE, you can't do that.
I just yelled to him. I was like, hey, how's it going, man? And he just pats me on the shoulder. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. WWE, you can't do that.
No.
It's like the Secret Service. Like, you can't get near them.
Yeah, even at like live shows, if you try to like get close, they said it's like against the rules for them to go sign autographs and meet the fans. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, why give back to the people that provide you your paycheck?
Yeah, it's like, why make, the people happy that are coming and, giving you a reason that you have a job?
Exactly.
I never understood that.
Yep.
It's just crazy, I know,
but like I said, indie wrestling is great. They're actually having one here in the Bronx, October the 1st. I got to get the exact, name of the promotion and all that, but the guy from WrestlePro, who's their champion, Anthony Bowens.
Yes.
He's going to be, I think he's headlining that show. So that's going to be good. So I'm going to see if I could get down there to check that out.
Yeah, Lance said when he went to a live show, the security was horrible at WWE. Don't stand, no yelling. He's like, well then, oh my God, why the hell am I here then, you asshole?
Yeah, so what did you go there to be? Oh, mute?
Yeah, Lance told me a story that he was like, saw a kid that was no older than 21 get thrown out because he was like heckling with one of the wrestlers, like going back and forth.
That's their... Oh, God.
And it wasn't anything like, he wasn't cursing or using,
even if he was.
And he said the kid had a big smile on his face. Like he was, happy and they throw him out over this shit.
Even if he was, this is how these guys are supposed to get over as heel over. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, he said it was Stardust. Stardust was like heckling him and he was going back and forth with him.
That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
I know. I was just like, what the hell? Yeah, like Lance just said, the kid was smiling and happy. Stardust started it too.
That is so ridiculous. I can't even put words together in a sense to talk about it.
The rage.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, that's why when me and my son go, he loves going because he'll run into wrestlers and don't even know it, and they'll just come up and, hey, how you doing? And you know what I mean? Yeah.
They could be walking past you in the parking lot. They could be online behind you buying freaking...
Well, dude, I walked right past Moose and didn't even know it was him. And my buddy's like, you just walked right past Moose, right? I was like, really?
Yeah, when I went to the last not the last WrestlePro show, because that was July 23rd, but the one in June, my brother-in-law was like, oh, I just met Jeff Jarrett, man, da-da-da. And I was like, wow. Because my brother-in-law serves the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
So they brought him over to Jeff Jarrett, so he shook his hand and all that, which was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
even though I'm not a Jarrett fan,
neither am I. I'm like, did you wash your hand after that? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's cool that he did that.
Yeah. So, but you can't do that at a WWE show. They'll just be like, oh yeah, you represent the Army. We'll give you a shout out during a commercial. All right.
Yeah. You're right, dude. It's crazy. That's why, And Seth Rollins said it best, that if you're not a fan of wrestling, not just WWE, wrestling in general right now, you're really missing out.
Yeah. But it's a shitload of wrestling, so.
Yeah, because you have so much to choose from.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily say, just watch WWE, because there's so many different, things like Ring of Honor and TNA, and, New Japan has their thing in the States now.
Yep, and Lucha.
Yes.
Lucha's coming back September 7th, I believe. So.
That sounds about right.
Yep, so.
All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good shit. And we will see you back next time. Have a good night, everybody.